thank you as ever for taking the time out of your busy afternoons to join us. Delighted to present to you a product that I'm personally fond of, and visited there. I was hosted there just over a year ago, so I've still got, even a year later, I've still got warm fuzzies about the trip. And we're also delighted to be joined by Samantha Fulton from Visit Tampa Bay, who's the account manager. Sam, thank you for taking time out of your busy day and joining us today.
Thank you for having me. Always love working with Stuba. You guys are great.
Ah, well said. Well said. I'll pay you later. So a couple of things. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat box. We're more than happy to answer questions as we go along, or if you've got any comments or tips or things, if you've been yourself, or got any specific questions, please feel free to use the chat box and we'll cover those off as we go along. Also delighted to say that we have got a £50 shopping voucher up for grabs this afternoon. So actually, do you know what I said about not making copious notes? Scrub that, make copious notes, because Sam will be asking you a question at the end of the webinar, and we will do our usual thing. It will be the first correct answer in the chat box will be the winner. So we've just had a couple more people join, so I'll just repeat that. So can I just kindly ask folks to put themselves on mute if possible, please? Thank you. Well, either that or there's a really young travel agent out there. So the joys of working from home, I love it. So just to reiterate before we start, because we've had a few people join us, no worries, Laura, happens to the best of us. So we will be recording the webinar, so you will get a recording of it, so you have all the details. And feel free to put any questions in the chat room, so we'll answer those as we go along. And we do have a £50 shopping voucher up for grabs this afternoon. So listen intently, because Sam will then be asking a question at the end of the webinar, and it will be the first correct answer. Fastest fingers first. I can't remember what quiz show that was, actually. Probably showing my age with just even the fact that I know the phrase. Anyway, moving swiftly on. Sam, over to you, our Visit Tampa Bay expert. We are all ears.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Nigel, for the warm introduction, and Karina from Stuba for both hosting today. So yes, Tampa Bay, Florida. Hopefully you guys may have come across us via the work we're doing with Stuba and have done with you guys now for a couple of years. But if not, this is a general destination introduction, and start with, just want to show you a little video of the destination, get you a bit of a feel for our vibe, our brand, and how lively and energetic Tampa Bay is.
Right, I'm not sure you're sharing yet, Sam.
No, it says I am.
Does it? Is it just me?
I can see it.
It's just me. I'm sorry. I strike that back. I do apologise. There I go.
Nigel.
Me blaming the thing is, it's me at fault all the time. I do apologise. Let's start again. I'm sorry.
And you can hear it.
Yeah.
So where we are, so Tampa Bay is about an hour 20, hour 30-minute drive from Orlando, or about a 4-hour drive from Miami. We do have our own international airport, code TPA, and we are quite often grouped with holidays for other bigger Florida itineraries, or maybe a pre or post cruise, or often with like the beaches of St. Pete and Clearwater. I use this as a moment to say that we do not have our own beaches. We are purely bayfront, waterfront, that kind of thing. But St. Pete and Clearwater are only just over 20 minutes to about 30 minutes away. So very complementary destinations, but we do not have beaches. I apologize, but have to make that important. So in terms of connectivity, you guys might have seen kind of recently that BA, about 2 months ago now, BA did a whole sleuth of announcements of changes to their flights. Currently, our connectivity is daily direct flights with Virgin Atlantic from Heathrow and 3 times a week BA Gatwick. However, as of the 26th of October this year, all the BA flights are moving to Heathrow. So everything will be Heathrow based from October, which I believe it's actually like I was up in Scotland last week doing some Tampa Bay events and talking to agents up there. They said that works a lot better for connections from Edinburgh and Glasgow, for instance. So generally speaking, it should have a positive impact on our connectivity.
And Sam, are they increasing the frequency with the move to Heathrow, or is that still going to stay as 3 times a week?
It's staying as it is, but the actual planes are much newer Dreamliner flights, planes.
Fantastic.
So it's an upgrade in the planes, which is good.
Yeah, and I think Virgin were using the Neo on that route as well, which was one of their newest aircraft as well. So it's both with BA and with Virgin, you'll be getting some of the latest aircraft on that route, which is really cool.
And more left in front of the when you
Yes.
turn left that turn.
Correct.
Yeah, more of those
Correct.
kind of seats
Yeah.
and more premium
More
economy
premium and upper and Club World and things like that. Excellent.
Yeah. Tampa International Airport. So this is actually probably one of our biggest draws generally to Tampa, that we have this excellent international airport. Flights are generally cheaper than going to Orlando, but we do see one of our biggest challenges as a destination is getting people to stay for a few nights. So people tend to fly in because the airport is a good experience, because the flights tend to be a bit cheaper, but then they'll pick up their rental car and go. Maybe to the parts of Orlando or wherever it might be. But so one of our main things and main message I really want to get across to you guys as well is to give you the knowledge to be able to sell a few days to actually stay in destination. And we recommend staying 3 days/4 nights. With the way the flights currently, when they arrive into Tampa, you tend to get there early evening. So realistically, your first day anyway is probably just getting to your hotel, freshening up, dinner and bed, and then having so that'll be your first night. Then having 3 full days in destination is what we recommend. I think to put it into context of why our airport has won multiple user experience awards over the last 3 years is, kid you not, every time I've been so far, and other people say the exact same, from landing wheels on tarmac to picking up your checked luggage and being out in like the taxi rank area, maximum half an hour. It's such a lovely, Nigel's nodding that I can attest to that. I've experienced that.
Yeah.
It's such a lovely introduction to a big US airport, or like just a holiday really, which definitely beats the hours of queues at some other places which we won't name.
Yeah. And I was going to say, and also the opportunity to have the photo with that amazing flamingo is genuinely fantastic. And I think, I'm just thinking about it, if I was going to go back with my other half and take my stepkids, I would definitely be using Tampa. But what I'd also probably be doing is I would be taking your advice. I would be doing that. I'd be staying a few days, acclimatizing, getting into things. And then, if the kids, have got this, yearning to go and do the theme parks, then that's our climatizing day and, a few days getting used to it all. And then heading off to, if you're doing the theme parks, you could head off there. Or as you say, if you're doing the beaches, then, you can head off there afterwards. It's a perfect kind of initial stop as part of a multi-Florida itinerary.
Definitely, or pre or post cruise.
Yeah.
We'll get onto
We can
that
get
bit.
into that.
So this is the downtown Tampa map. So you kind of see in the top left-hand corner, it says Tampa International Airport, 7 miles west. So one of our main things that we say that once you're actually in Tampa Bay, you do not need to have a rental car. So I would say, like, once you get to the airport, maybe order an Uber, hail down a taxi or something, 20, 25 minutes tops, you're in the downtown area. Tampa itself is obviously a lot more sprawling with lots of residential areas within the Hillsborough County. But Tampa Bay, whenever we refer to it, this is just this downtown area. So yeah, so we've got airport just off to the left, 25-minute Uber in, and then once you're here, it's actually extremely accessible and walkable. So put this into context, there's three things I really want to highlight on this map for you. The first one is you see this orange line going along the periphery. That is our Tampa Riverwalk. So this is, you can imagine it like, you don't have to imagine it, I've got photos. This is wide, pedestrianized riverwalk. It's like I planned this or something. So you can walk it, you can cycle it. It's completely accessible for wheelchairs as well. People skateboard it, often doing their morning walks with their dogs or something. Like, it's a big part of the life in Tampa Bay, really, and especially leaning into the whole, because we don't have the beaches, this is an excellent way to merge the city life with the water. So you get that nice feel still. And this, from one end to the other, oh, get onto that in a second, is only 2.6 miles. So just over 4K, 5K, not too bad. So at a average walking pace, it only takes you about an hour to get from one end to the other. So I think that really shows how compact Tampa Bay really is. And then while we're talking about the Riverwalk as well, we have the tourism board, we have our own attraction pass, which includes all of a bunch of attractions along the Riverwalk specifically, which I show here. So this includes one of our three big attractions, one being, I'm sure most of you have heard of, like Busch Gardens, for instance. That tends to be a really big draw to Tampa Bay. This attraction pass, however, doesn't include that. That's something which City Pass does include, but I can show you. I have a slide dedicated to that later. But the attraction pass includes the Florida Aquarium, which we have. And I'm sometimes a bit skeptical when it comes to things like aquariums, but we got to go on the trip last year and was thoroughly impressed by it. So the first floor is all native Floridian mangrove habitats with your ducks and your fish and your bird life flying everywhere. It's not a sad aquarium. It felt very happy and it was very conservation focused. And it's an awesome attraction and place I'd really recommend going if you go to Tampa Bay, of course.
Yeah, it was really good. I was really impressed, actually. It's you know, sometimes you just think, you know, aquariums, you know, what do they have to offer? But it was exceptionally well done. It wasn't hugely overcrowded as well. Really well themed, and yeah, could have definitely. We had a little bit of time there, but it could have easily stayed a whole lot longer. It was really, really good.
And then a few other things along the route, including a couple history, couple museums. Also, we have this Strauss Performing Arts Centre, which big companies like tour up, like Hamilton's been there, Choir of Man has toured there, some like big productions. And then one of the main things I also want to point out here is that bottom central image, that is the pirate water taxi, which you can see along the map. You see those yellow dots going along the waterfront. That is the pirate water taxi stops. So this is another excellent way to get around Tampa Bay generally. The attraction pass can be bought as a 1 day or 3 day, and you can then go to things within it however many times, especially the pirate water taxi. That's a completely hop on, hop off service. Use as much as you want within the time period that you've bought. So say you bought it 4 p.m. one day, your first evening there, you're going to jump on it, head up the water to go to a place for dinner, then that will then do you until the same time the following day. So it doesn't cut out at midnight, which is good.
That's really good. Yeah, we used it, didn't we, one night, and
Yeah.
it's really, really good. And yeah, and I think the good thing about it was, like you say, with the fact that you don't need a car and you've got those water taxis, able to have quite a few drinks if you so choose.
Yeah.
And not have to
That
worry
is,
about
yeah.
getting around and getting back to and from your hotel or anything like
Mm.
that. It was really, really convenient.
And that leans in very well into my third thing I really wanted to highlight on this map. So we've highlighted two ways you can really get around Tampa Bay. And the third one is this dotted grey line you see going from left up to the top right-hand corner. That is our Tico streetcar. So if you imagine traditional tramways of San Francisco, it's got that same vibe. Um, However, there's one very unique distinguishing factor. This is a completely free mode of public transport, which, generally speaking, even in the UK, like you don't have free public transport really these days, and especially not for a US city destination. So this tends to be a really big plus, especially if you've got families buying 4, 5, or however much of every ticket each time really adds up. Um, and this is what it looks like.
Mm.
Everything for our brand is very yellow and blue, garish. You can't miss it.
Yeah.
um, but it is they are old streetcars from when the history of Tampa when it was first booming in the late 1800s, early 1900s. Like these are been preserved, so they hold a lot of the old charm of the city.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then just thing to point out on the map, this Tico streetcar from the left up until the top right, this goes to a part of the city called Ybor City. So Ybor City is our heritage district. If you imagine kind of what the French Quarter is for New Orleans, that's kind of
Yeah.
what Ybor City is for Tampa. So you might see a couple of things here that make you go, wait, what? Why is there a rooster on my screen right now? Uh,
Mm.
or maybe the cigars. What's that all rooted in? So the history of Tampa is Ybor. When Ybor and the Cuban cigar industry was booming in the late 1800s, that is when cigar industry was booming. The jobs came, the people came, the railroads came, immigrants from mainland Europe and Cuba came, and this is how Ybor City boomed. The Tampa Bay has then come off from that. But to this day, there is still one cigar factory where they still go hand roll their cigars, and you can go around and do a tour. There's actually a little scenario I want to put into your mind right now. There'll be probably two I'll put into your mind throughout this whole training. But first one is this is an excellent half day, minimum half day, maybe full day. I tend to go for a half day itinerary, part of your 3 day itinerary in Tampa Bay. If you imagine, you wake up in the morning, you're at your hotel in downtown, you maybe gone downstairs, tried out your hotel breakfast, just grabbed a little bits, and then you hop straight on that Tigo streetcar, take it up northeast to Ybor City, and here you are. This place is super vibey, super
Yeah.
buzzy. It's just you can just kind of feel the history, and because it is a protected historic district, there's no new buildings there. You can see in that middle image, it's all low rise, exposed brick. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous place. And then the first thing you do when you get there, I recommend doing a walking tour. There are a few different companies you can do. One in particular, Ybor Historic Walking Tours, with a lovely gentleman called Max Herman, and he born and bred Ybor City, and he is one of those people. There's they're larger than life. They should have been on stage. They're so theatrical, and he
Mm.
brings the history of Ybor to life, and it for what is otherwise a very modern destination. Ybor City adds an excellent, unique, historic, and cultural addition. Really, it's
Yeah.
really really fun. So then
Yeah.
you do that. Yeah,
Sam, was that the chap that we had
yeah,
on
yeah. It
when we were
was.
there? Yeah, I have to say, this guy, he was originally from there. His family roots were from there, wasn't it? And he was so proud of that. And he was so proud to show us around his town, his part of town where he grew up, and he was even walking in the street and everybody knew him and stuff like that. And it was really addictive. His enthusiasm was really infectious, and it just made for an absolutely fabulous walking tour. He couldn't have been prouder of his little part of the city. It was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, it's amazing, amazing, man. We actually have a Tampa Bay destination guide, which have a QR code for at the end, and he is featured in that, so you can learn about
Excellent.
his company. I think it's page 48. Usually when I do this in person, I hand out the guide and I'm like, right, now kids,
To
turn
be
to page 48 and
precise.
we'll learn together. So yeah, and then tend to say once you've done his walking tour, maybe then you have to book with him in advance because he is popular. But he also does nighttime ghost tours, which if you're that way inclined, go for it. I'm not personally, a
Do
bit
it.
too scary.
Do it. It'd be brilliant, I'm
But
sure.
and then maybe go to JC Newman Cigar Factory, see him still hand rolling the cigars, a super unique experience. And then you have to finish off your afternoon, well, your half day at the Columbia restaurant. It is the oldest restaurant in all of Florida. And I think it's like the largest Spanish one in the US or something. It's got some incredible claims and it's stayed within the same family for generations now. And as you might have seen here as well in that bottom right hand image, the Cuban sandwich, Tampa Bay is actually where the Cuban sandwich was born. It is an amalgamation and an ode to those different cultures that came together during the cigar factory boom. So I'm not sure how big this will be for some of you, but you can see it's got the Cuban bread, it's got German pickles, Swiss cheese, Italian salami, all of that, all in one lovely, gorgeous sandwich together. And so I say, as a nice cultural experience, have the Cuban sandwich in the Columbia restaurant, maybe have the sangria ordered to the table as well, and they make it in front of you. It's a whole thing. And that is like your nice cultural half day experience. And then you can go back to the rest of the Tampa afterwards.
Yeah,
One thing I
brilliant.
will say though about the roosters, because I haven't answered that question yet, they are free roaming in Ybor. They were a hangover from when all the cigar industry was booming, and then when that collapsed due to the cigarette industry then taking over, these roosters and chickens and that were left behind by the people. And it's a really odd story, but if you remember anything, this is something you'll probably be like, wait, what? But they are protected in Ybor like how swans are protected in the UK. So if you were to accidentally hit one with your car, you will actually legally get fined. So
Yeah,
look out for
they're
them.
protected. Yeah.
And
Yeah, I mean, it
they
was so
fly. Yeah.
it was so interesting seeing cars literally stop for a few seconds as
Yeah.
they cross the street, and
You have to.
being uber careful, in terms of, because they do literally roam free, don't they?
Yeah. I think we saw a car nearly hit a mum and her little chicks. We're like, don't do that. That's expensive.
Yeah.
And then just then bringing it back then to the rest of the downtown district. So we've really focused on the main ways to get around, focus on Ybor City, and another feature which I mentioned earlier about how Tampa is a really good pre or post cruise stay is you can see at the right hand side of the Riverwalk that literally right there where you've got that nice cruise image is the cruise terminals.
Yeah.
So this is Port Tampa. So we don't have the huge cruise ships like Miami would because where we're situated for the cruise ships to order to get to us, they have to go under some of those bridges connecting the land of around that part of Florida. So our cruise ships don't dominate the skyline, despite the fact it is in the downtown district, which is actually really good. So they're not huge, they're super accessible because the Riverwalk, you can literally finish the Riverwalk. I'll show you here. Don't need to explain it, I can show it. The
Hmm.
Riverwalk literally finishes right at the port and you can walk straight on. You don't Another reason why you don't need to have rented a car. You don't need to worry about where you're going to park it, how much you pay for parking, or how you're going to get. You can literally just walk straight there. And a thing I also mentioned with the Tico streetcar, there was a stop right by the ports as well. So one question I often get asked by agents is, all right, fine, my customers are they are going to do a cruise out of Port Tampa, maybe Caribbean cruise, and they want to know where to stay. They're not too fussed about seeing destination. And I'm like, well, first of all, we need to change the mentality around that. Stay for a few days first. But then secondly, the hotel almost isn't as important as you might think, because all of our hotels within the downtown district are within about a 7-minute walk of a Tico streetcar stop. And obviously the streetcar as well is free. It goes until about 2 a.m. in the morning. Like, it is all day, and it's very frequent. It's every 15 minutes. So you can literally just walk to it from any of the hotels you might be staying at, hop on the streetcar and hop straight off at the terminal. So very handy way of getting around.
And actually, Sam, just to that point, just in terms of Stuba.com, in
Mhm.
terms of us curating our hotels, we do actually have a cruise curation. So when you go into a destination, and with a destination like Tampa, there is the opportunity or the option to click on the cruise curation. I can never say that very well. It's a bit of a tongue twister. And it will show you the closest hotels to the cruise port. And in this instance, as Sam says, all of the hotels are pretty close, but it will give you the closest hotels to the cruise port, both for Tampa and our other cruise destinations.
Amazing. That was very useful. One thing I want to point out here for the cruise lines. So we currently have 5 different cruise lines that make home at Port Tampa. You've got Carnival, Norwegian, Celebrity, Royal Caribbean, and Margaritaville at Sea. We actually, this now needs to be updated because we've now got a sixth as of last month. We've got Oceania that is
Oh, cool.
now sailing out of, yeah, Port Tampa. And then later this year, around November time, it will be Regent Seven Seas will be added to that as well.
Oh, cool. So nice
So
couple of
these,
high-end cruise
yeah.
lines.
So I think this really shows how, if you kind of group them, your Margaritaville at Sea might be your lowest price point entry. Then these other 4 might be your more 4-star equivalent. But then having these much more premium lines coming in as well is really showing, I think, how much Tampa Bay has been put on the map for cruising if these other
Yeah,
companies are willing to invest into sailing out of there. So definitely something to keep in mind for any cruise clients. Like, we have options and a variety now. So yeah, it's looking good.
perfect.
And on that more premium note, these are some of our luxury hotels that we have in Tampa. So I know, working with Stuba, you guys will be have a lot more knowledge about like the hotels and that. But one thing I'll say is that we do have one 5-star, which is the Edition, which we actually did an event with Stuba last year. The guy from the Edition came over, so
Yeah,
some of you might have been at that or have heard about that event as well. But so that is like the Edition brand you see in London as well. It is the same, but in Tampa Bay. And then you've got like your 4.5-star equivalent, like the JW, Marriott, Epicurean, and that. And then some other bigger names as well, like the Noel Marriott, and then Hilton. The current, this is quite an interesting one. You'd almost look at this image of the current hotel and go, well, that looks like Tampa Bay has beaches. The current is the only hotel where they actually brought in their own sand. So they do have their
yeah,
own
I forgot about that.
little
Yeah.
beach. If and they're a little bit further out. They're actually just south of the airport, so out of the downtown district. So they fit that nice niche between wanting to be close to Tampa Bay, but maybe wanting just to be a little bit further about that bit of separation, but still, they're not far from downtown at all.
Yeah, it did really have a bit of a. I think I'd probably describe it as a coastal vibe rather than a beach
Yeah,
vibe, because, like you say,
very
yeah, they have
coastal.
got that little that sort of little man-made beach or down the front. But
Mm,
the rooftop restaurant and bar up there at the top there was just absolutely magnificent, with some brilliant views and great food
mm.
too. So it was a real win-win.
Yeah. Food generally is very much on the up in Tampa Bay.
Yeah,
We now have 5 1-star Michelin restaurants and about 30 on the Michelin rated guide.
wow.
Um, as you can see there, we've got this cookbook called Tampa's Table, which is a nice ode to, it's a collection of recipes from lots of different Tampa restaurants. And so food is definitely, we're being noticed more and more for our growing gastronomy scene. these are the different five, these are the Michelin rated restaurants. And then something else that Tampa Bay is known for is its craft beer scene.
Yeah.
I feel like something, I have to see whether or not the client wants to do this, but I feel like maybe a next time fam trip, a bit of a bar crawl, going to all these different craft breweries could be a fun thing. But they've got dozens of them throughout all of Tampa Bay, and quite a few of them in Ybor City as well.
Yeah.
In fact, there's even one which is named after Ybor. It's called Cigar City. So like very much a little nod to their history there.
Definitely. Yeah, I'm in.
You're in, yeah. Well,
I'm
just
in.
see if
I'm
we can
in
do
for
another
that
one.
fab. Yeah. Yes, please.
And then another big draw factor of Tampa Bay generally is attractions and things to do there. So yes, I mentioned earlier about Busch Gardens. I think this again leans into the whole why really don't need to have rented a car. Busch Gardens is about 25 minutes north of downtown. You could order an Uber, take you about 30 minutes. Yeah, 25, 30 minutes to get there. Maybe cost you about $30, especially if it's between a few of you. That's split quite nicely. Or to actually pay for parking there for a whole day is about $90. So it's definitely a lot more money efficient to not have to worry about that. And then also when you're there, kind of like what Nigel was saying earlier, don't then have to worry about where you've parked or who the sober driver is in case you want to have a drink or two throughout the day, whatever it might be. Just logistically a bit
Yeah.
more easier.
Yeah, definitely.
And really
And
not far from,
can I just
yeah,
add, as
of
a
course.
person who was associated to Busch Gardens a few years ago,
Mm,
if you like your roller coasters, Busch Gardens is right up there with the best of them for roller coasters. I kid you not. They just have the most amazing coasters, and then you've also got the balance of the the wildlife and things like that as
mm,
well. So, as far as roller coasters are concerned, it's second to no one. So if that's your initial fix, maybe as part of a Florida itinerary, you are in the right place.
mm. Thank you. And then with that, you said about the wildlife as well, something we did last year, which was amazing. You can actually book onto a slot to go on this little safari around the
Oh yeah,
pens. And we actually hand fed giraffes like lettuce leaves. Obviously, they come up to you. They would only come up to you if they want to eat the lettuce, and they do. And some of them are cheeky. And it was just such an incredible experience, especially if you've got kids. Like to have the giraffes like right by their faces. Absolutely amazing.
yeah, it was really good.
Yeah. So I mentioned this earlier about this is a good one good way if you've got people who want to do lots of the different attractions. Tampa Bay have their own city pass, and this includes the big three, Busch Gardens, Zoo Tampa, which is literally just opposite Busch Gardens, so super easy to get to as well, or the Florida Aquarium, which is in downtown. And this can be packaged in advance via things like do something different or Viator. I think Nigel wanted to make a comment about this as well.
Did I?
The city pass.
Oh,
How
the
like you
situation? No,
can't buy it through.
yeah. I mean, obviously, we only sell hotels, but I guess for the agents out there, just good to know where they can pre-buy it, which you've
Yeah.
already mentioned. Yeah.
Mm. But that compares to our the Riverwalk attraction pass, which can't be pre-packaged. That is something that can only be bought via our website, visitampabay.com, or we do have an in-destination physical store where you can go and find out more about things to do and also, yeah, buy the pass there. And then this is just a few. I feel like I've very much gone over the main draw points of Tampa Bay. And then this is just a few little bits to add on, something that's maybe unique. Maybe people want to plan their trip around something specific. For instance, Gasparilla Pirate Fest, that's a big event which happens every January in Tampa Bay. It's this huge takeover where, I mean, you guys probably might have heard of Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah.
Buccaneers, Pirates, Gasparilla Pirate Festival. A lot of Tampa Bay is rooted in our pirate history because that is actually where a lot of Tampa Bay's history is from as well.
Mm.
If you want to learn more about that, I highly recommend. And this is an incredible few days. I have to see if I can try and plan a trip around that as well because that'd be incredible to see.
Yeah, do you know what? It's on my list of all the years that I've been, lucky enough to visit Tampa. I've never managed to be out there in January for this, and it just
Mm.
looks immense. And how many days is it, Sam? You said it's a couple of days. Is it normally 3 or 4
Yeah,
days,
yeah,
is
yeah.
it?
It's a few days, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and I mean,
And
just looking
yeah,
at it, I would imagine it wouldn't be far off some of the biggest festivals you get. I mean, I know Mardi Gras and things like that is huge, but this wouldn't be that far behind it in terms of size and scope.
it's a very similar style. Everyone wears like the Mardi Gras beads as well. Like it's
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah,
similar
yeah,
vibe to that.
yeah,
And
yeah.
then
No,
you might have
I'd love to
customers
be
who
out there
are,
for it.
yeah, yeah, it'd be incredible. Alternatively, you might have customers who maybe want to plan the trip around a specific sporting event, like an NFL game. We have the Buccaneers, I mentioned. We also have NHL, baseball, we've got soccer, various things like that. I know, for instance, later this year, we're hosting some of the World Cup football matches, for instance. So we're part of that. But yeah, we are equally on par for the big national sports leagues as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You've got three of the big four, haven't you? So yeah,
Literally, yeah.
yeah.
And then just to kind of round it off, one of our last key pillars of, I feel like it's not really a trip to a US destination without a bit of shopping. We love doing that over there. We've got good variety of shopping options. For instance, we have a lot of like boutique, smaller style shopping, local, especially in this district called Hyde Park Village, which
Oh,
was
that was
just,
beautiful. Yeah,
oh, you really felt like it felt like a very urban area, lots of greenery and trees, and that is just west of the downtown, literally just cross the bridge, and you're pretty much in Hyde Park Village, and it
mm,
feels like you're not in a city at all there. Really awesome.
yeah.
But then conversely to that, we also have some more outlet style places like Tampa Premium Outlets, or the Bay Street Mall and Plaza. So you got your more premium, bigger brands there, but then at like the cheaper price. And the Bay Street Mall has also got a lot of food options as well. And like that
Yeah.
is right, literally right by Bay Street Mall is right by the airport. So an excellent last thing to do before you hop on your flight and head on home.
And that's
Um,
exactly what we did,
mm,
didn't we? We
literally we did.
shopped, we came back, we had a few cocktails right at the end. We then got to
Yeah.
the airport and had to completely repack because we bought so much.
It's like,
And then
ooh.
checked in. Yeah, it was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant.
Then I'm just going to end with a bit of a slightly longer destination video to really summarize what taught you today and hopefully really hone in on some of that information.
Right, fantastic.
Just to finish off, cheeky little plug of our online training platform. I would love for anyone who's watching this live or on recording afterwards to please sign up and complete our training platform. It's it's not something you have to just do all at once. It's a really good resource to dip in and out of as and when you want. And it's been constantly updated as well. For instance, something that's really useful on there, which I haven't touched on today, is that it has a whole module dedicated to accessibility. Tampa Bay has put a lot of time and effort into making as much of the destination as accessible as possible. We have a lot of resources on there which give you some extremely helpful information. So yeah, please, by all means, to see some of you say that you've already scanned that. Thank you very much. Visit tampabayspecialist.com. And that is where I am going to end this presentation.
Excellent. All right, thank you very much.
You.
I do apologize. My Teams is playing up at the moment because IT have decided to change my password mid-webinar. So whilst I am still live and I can hear you, I can't access the chat room. So if you have been asking any questions or making any comments and I haven't commented on them, I do apologize. So right, so we're now getting to the particularly exciting part of the webinar. We have got a prize to give away. It's a £50 shopping voucher. Is it an Amazon voucher, Sam, or?
See, correct. Yeah.
It is. This is an Amazon voucher. So literally you could buy anything with it. I mean, as we all know, Amazon, don't we? So it's going to be, and actually, Karina, I might need your help on this, please, because I can't access the chat room. It will be the first fully correct answer in the chat room. So Sam, over to you.
So yes, this was a bit of information I gave quite near the beginning of the webinar. Apologise, I reach back in, try and find it, but this question is mainly really about one of our key selling points about Tampa Bay, and hopefully one of the main reasons I want you guys to pick up on, and it is, how long do we recommend staying in Tampa Bay? You can put the days/nights. Oh wow, yeah.
2 years.
I think 2 years.
Somebody's put 2 years.
If you
they
want
should
to
get a prize just for that.
So, given that the information was very much given to you as a number of days and then / a number of nights, I think looks like the winner will have to be Alison B, 3 days, 4 nights.
Hey, well done, Alison. So Alison, if you can just drop us your email address in the chat, that will be really helpful, and we'll put you in touch with Sam, or you can get in touch. You've got Sam's details there, but we can put you in touch with Sam and to get your prize. So well done. Okay, excellent. Sam, thank you very much. I mean, it's really good to get an update. I think we've not done a webinar for probably over a year now. So good to have the updates, and I can't stress enough in terms of what you were saying. I mean, you look at sort of like what we call a Florida combo. So if you're looking for city and beach, you've got Tampa as part of that. City and parks, Tampa are part of that. City, beach and parks, Tampa are part of that as well for a multi-Florida itinerary. So it really versatile, and it really strikes a really good balance to a Florida holiday, particularly for the repeat visitors, but even if it's somebody, or customers who are going for the first time, a few days in Tampa to acclimatize, get yourself sorted, and then head off, wherever else it might be. Given the ease of the airport, I would highly recommend it. I really would. I can't stress that enough. That's all due respect to all the other destinations we feature, but with regards to using Tampa as a gateway into Florida, it's a no-brainer on so many levels. So excellent.
I think you should do all of my webinars with me, Nige. The good back and forth, the questions, the little anecdotes. I love it. Thank you very much.
I am a brand advocate. I have been for many, many years, and I continue to be. So yeah, no, anytime for a small fee. No, I joke. Right, I don't know if we've got any more questions in the group. Karina, I'm going to have to rely on you for that again, if there are. But
no questions, just people saying thank you, great training. Shirley said
I've got a group of friends looking for a 60th birthday celebration. They could do this and then cruise and then pirates. It sounds perfect.
Absolutely,
Love it.
absolutely.
Thank you.
Excellent. All right. Any more?
Nope, that's
No,
it.
good.
I think.
Excellent. All right. Well, Sam, thank you very much again for a brilliant presentation. I said it last time, and it remains. Your enthusiasm for the product is evident and infectious. And thank you to everybody out there in travel agent / tour operator world that have joined us this afternoon and taken time out of their busy day. And yeah, we hope to see you soon. And thank you, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon and have a
Ciao.
good rest of the week.
Thank you. Ciao.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Sam.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks.